a little different than what we think. I think it's going to be actually a small group, relatively small. It can be hundreds and even thousands of people. But compared to a world of 8 billion people, it's a small group, a small purpose, what a tithe or whatever, a tenth or whatever. It seems like that's what he's talking about doing, even from 2,000 years ago. Something about redeeming the lost sheep of Israel. Those are the ones that God gave him, and he said, those are the ones I'm praying for. If they become one with me, even as I am one with the Father. So that's who he sent his disciples out. He said, go only into the lost sheep of Israel. Well, obviously they weren't lost because they knew where to go to find him, but that's what he told them, even his disciples, go only to the lost sheep of Israel.
Well, maybe they were lost spiritually.
Lost to what?
Lost spiritually.
Spiritually? Well, yeah.
I mean, if you look around, if this nation is built up of the 10 nations, and, you know, they're in here somewhere, but there's a lot of people that have turned their backs. Then, I guess one thing we could look at is, okay, the devil's a copycat. So he's learned something from somewhere. And he took over media, took over government, he took over schools and different things like that. All the main influences that Dave was just talking about that these kids have learned, even though they were homeschooled, he took over all of those things to where he made a bunch of distractions. So if godly standards are reinserted back into government, in these different organizations and media and different things like that, then minds would begin to go back the other direction. But then we also see where Scripture talks about, your children will dream dreams and, and different things like that. And all these things begin to compound.
But see, what if he did it a different way? What if he did it like he did with Gideon?
Like what?
With Gideon, just 300 of them, but they surrounded the enemy, basically. And on the command, on Gideon's command, they broke jars or something, made a lot of noise, and also raised up a light. And the enemy destroyed itself. They was in confusion. They actually destroyed themselves.
So we gotta just turn tables and lift up the lights?
Well, it does say a light into the nations. Doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does say that.
But you remove all that evil, there creates a vacuum. So something's got to fill that vacuum. Well, that just opens up all of the media. That just opens up all the stuff. All the stuff that people have been indoctrinated by.
Well, yeah, but like with Gideon, it was a miracle of God. See, that's what He's told us all along. He said, I will go before you and fight the battle, which He's always done. So if He's always done that, why won't He do that in the end time also, the time we're living in now? And He will do it. And by the way, He also emphasized over and over and over again that they will know that I did it. In other words, it's not going to be something a man did. It's going to be something that the people, the nations are going to know that He did it. Now, he can do that through His people, just like He did with Gideon. But they didn't have to, what they did was, really had nothing to do with war. They broke jars, and that let the light shine. And when the enemy saw that, they fought against each other and destroyed themselves. Could God do that again? I think He could. Maybe that's what He's talking about. A light into the nations and salvation to the end of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, light is the truth, is it not? So, when the light comes forth, the truth comes forth. Now, with Gideon, it was a physical thing. They had lights up there, and when he broke the jars, the light didn't shine, and the enemy saw all the light and heard the noise, And, and for some reason, that caused them to destroy each other, to fight against each other. Can God do that again?
Yeah. Nothing is impossible for God. I'm just trying, my mind is going, how would he do this? What
That's
is
what
it
I'm
gonna look
thinking.
like, you know?
How would he do that? And,
In a way, I mean, I guess we could look at like today, you see all these whistleblowers coming and blowing, you know, that's a form of that right now.
we do have a clue in Revelation. It says when the enemy comes at us with a flood, the earth will actually open up. And what does it say, something, does it consume that
Swallows
flood?
them up, yeah.
It has something about the flood. The earth actually, let's go back and read that, see what that says. But there's,
Well, when the enemy comes in like a flood, he raises the standard up against them.
yeah, that's in Isaiah. But what about in Revelation, when it talks about the flood? It also mentions the flood in Revelation.
And the
It
earth
talks
swallows
about the
them
earth
up.
opening up.
The earth swallows them
It
up.
helps them. After all the Israelites had crossed over, then he took his staff, I think, over the water, and God brought the water in and drowned the enemy. Yeah, I'm sure each one of those it's a clue as to what he's going to do now. I mean, in this day and age, because that's what they're given for. They're given as parables, and we know it's not going to be like what we were thinking. We know it's not going to be like what we've been taught in quote church, because it's not going to look that way. It didn't.
I don't know that anything is like we've been taught, honestly.
Yeah,
It is not.
not even accidentally on a lot of it. It's gonna be interesting, I know that. Could it just be like on some of the stuff that people go through, where we just like, you know what, I'm gonna show that I'm God. Wipe out, you know, clear the, like, take the checkerboard and just knock everything over. All of a sudden, a lot of the diseases we have are just gone. Depression, all, you know, certain things like that are just gone, where no man did anything to it. It's just gone. And so because of all that, stuff's removed. I mean, something had to have done it, so they get to receive it. And then they see, you know,
The key might be right here in Romans chapter 1, verse 17. For in it, the righteousness of God is revealed from face to face, even as it has been written, but the just shall live by faith. That's in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. Chapter 2. Verse 4. Okay, chapter 2 says, oh yeah, okay, Habakkuk was the one that he had some controversies, some questions of God. And he asked a question. Okay, the first problem was in chapter 1, and then God made the reply. Then Habakkuk had a second problem, in which he says, art thou not from everlasting, O Lord, my God, my Holy One? We shall not die. O Lord, thou hast ordained them for judgment, and Almighty God, thou hast established them for correction. Who's to them here to get good if we them? I have to back up again, get the context. God's first reply, behold, heap dust and take it. Then shall his mind change, and he shall pass over and offend, imputing this, his power unto his God.
What if it's a combination of like a Passover and the enemy turning on itself? What if it's a combination?
It sounds like a hand of judgment and a backhand is gonna have to come against the church to get them to wake up.
So we need,
Sounds like judgment has happened, and that's the tool.
but I think there's some clues here as to what we're talking about. Now, I read backwards a lot to the scriptures. I start backing up to try to find out the context. Okay, now that was God's reply to Habakkuk's first problem. His first problem was, to see the burden which Habakkuk the prophet did see. Lord, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry out unto thee in violence, and thou wilt not save. Why dost thou show me iniquity, and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and violence are before me, and there are that raise up strife and contention. Therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth. This is exactly what it's the same, he's describing exactly what we're talking about. And judgment doth never go forth, for the wicked doth compass or means to surround about the righteous. Therefore, wrong judgment precedes it. Wrong judgment proceedeth. Okay, so that was his first problem. And God's reply was what? He said that there's going to, among the heathen, for I will work a work in your days, which you will not believe, though it be told you. Because he's going to raise up the